Hello, this is Michael Wojcik with the City Council update for April 21st, 2014. It's always great when you get out of a City Council meeting at 10 o'clock at night and you think to yourself, wow, I got out of here a lot earlier than I thought I was going to be. So that was the event tonight. A lot of things went on at the City Council meeting, but if I'm smiling a little bit, that's because after 6 years of dedication to what was probably my most downtrodden of neighborhoods, I think that the Uptown revival is close to being complete. I think we funded enhancements to a level of about $440,000, and those funds should allow us to make a pretty significant impact in terms of branding and creating a friendly pedestrian environment in that area. Still a few details to work out, but this passed by a 6-1 vote, so I'm very excited about the enhancements coming to that area. Um, I do think the business owners, the neighbors, the property owners, everybody who came out in support of this, a lot of collaboration and many public meetings went into making this work. And I very much appreciate the support of everyone. Stuck their necks out. It's not easy to fund public art. I mean, it's one of those things. How can you waste that kind of money? But you do have to realize that it's not wasted money. It's an investment in a neighborhood. It's an investment in people. It's an investment in density. And I think our payback is going to be very substantial here. The figure that I have is if all the investments that we're making in this area, um, are come to fruition, we can just up the density to half of what it is on the other side of Highway 52. We're looking at an additional $2.5 million per year in tax collections over there. That's a lot of money to help fund the operations of the rest of the city. The reality is, when you have density, when you have population density and business density, a mix of uses, you can actually have nice things, and that's, I think, what the Uptown neighborhood's going to have for it. So very excited about that. The Chardonnay, we reopened the permit. There were some statements made at the previous meeting that turned out to be misleading at best, false at worst, and as a result, I was kind of questioning some of the other statements that were made. New information was presented. In order for us to consider that information, we had to reopen the public hearing. We will reopen the public hearing at May 5th. Now, I know I've said this before, but I really hope that we have a decision on May 5th as to the future of this. But I'm disappointed when my decision to reopen a hearing is predicated on the fact that there were statements made that at this point I can see were clearly misleading. The We also talked about the official map for US 63 in the south part of town. Basically, the idea here is that we're turning it into more of a freeway over time. One of the worst intersections at 16, which is the airport exit. It's a very bad intersection. That's going to actually be improved in 2015, according to our county folks. City Council also recommended some safety enhancements at 60th Street Southwest. We don't control that stretch, but I think that the other organizations will, take a look at what we're asking for and hopefully come back with some safety improvements there as well. Probably 2019 timeframe. It sounds like the MnDOT might be looking at the interchange with I-90 down there, and some changes coming. I think reduced access, different access for a lot of the people that access the road directly down there. We had a big petition come in from the folks at the Islamic Center downtown for a stoplight or safe crossing right where their buildings are. Sometimes it's easy to forget about those areas if you don't go there, but there's a lot of people and a lot of incredible business activities and culture that go on in that place. As an elected official, my job is to make sure people can get to and from there safely. Uh, MnDOT no longer has Broadway, so there's no reason why we can't consider some additional pedestrian enhancements to make it safer for people coming and going to there. It's also really cool when you get a petition from people who have not traditionally been involved with Rochester's government that are being involved, and I'm very happy to be able to help them achieve some of the goals for their area as well. Gus's 24-story building, the Titan Development Building on Broadway and Center, came forward. Excited for the proposal. It looks really great. I'm really going to activate the street down there. Can't say enough nice things about the proposal. The only concern that I raised was that there was some talk of continuing the Skyway in the future to the north, and that does conflict with our adopted downtown master plan, which is looking to constrain the Skyway system to its current area essentially. And because Skyways do take away from street life, they take away from viewpoints and sunlight within the city, and for all their goods, there are those negatives there as well. And we hired the best people in the world to come up with a downtown master plan. So perhaps we ought to listen to what they have to say. There will be a skyway across Broadway, which is it's just a matter of figuring out how exactly we're going to do that. Excited for the proposal, lots of good stuff. A lot of details still to be worked out down there, but can't wait to get the cranes in the air for that one. Lastly, we got an update on Zip Rail. Not a whole lot changing. Ultimately, things are basically on hold until we can get $15 million to fund the Tier 2 study. It's not in the governor or the House bonding bill. I don't know if it'll be in the Senate bonding bill. But unless we get $15 million for that, for the most part, things are on hold. But only real change we saw is we have some relatively well-defined routes. It's pretty clear at this point that the design of the railway is to come into downtown Rochester. In the Twin Cities, it's either going to be Union Station in St. Paul or the airport, or possibly the airport and then Union Station. The airport is absolutely vital connection for the city of Rochester. Other key thing going on up there is that the cost of crossing the Minnesota River up there with the high-speed rail is something on the order of $500 million. So the current proposals do not actually have the rail crossing the river. It gets to its closest point on the opposite side of the river to the airport, which creates a little bit of a logistical challenge. How exactly do you get from the airport to the train terminal? But I'm sure there will be a solution to that at some point as well. Zip rail is pretty vital for the future of Rochester, but we just don't have the funding mechanisms in place. I do believe once it's up and running, just the amount of traffic that already commutes back and forth between Rochester and the cities, I think it's going to be operational, profitable, self-funding from day one once the capital costs are accounted for. So that's it, kind of a whirlwind tour. If I'm smiling a little bit more than usual, it's because my baby got taken care of with Uptown, and very excited for everybody in that area. Excited to see the transformational change, hopefully get everything finished up this summer. So thank you for watching. Always contact me if you have any questions, and I will catch you after the next meeting. Bye-bye.